Well, I think it's safe to say that no place in North America says clear and cold better than Grand Forks, North Dakota right now. Pictures coming out of the University of North Dakota. There isn't a cloud in the sky. There's probably some twilight up there right now in Grand Forks, but it is just unbelievably cold, and it's going to get colder as we go through the overnight and early morning hours. Welcome back here once again to Weather Nation. I'm meteorologist Matt Monroe. I'll be joined in a second by meteorologist David Neal, who will show you live Viper radar, give you a tour of what's happening on the maps. But I'm going to show you how cold it got this morning in places like Rugby, North Dakota, down to 43 degrees below zero. That's with the temperature and the wind combined, giving us our wind chill. How about Crosby at 38 degrees below zero there? And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to do it all over again by early tomorrow morning. Very strong wind chills again, negative 20 all the way down to negative 35 out across northern and eastern North Dakota, out across Minneapolis up through International Falls, Duluth, and right across northern Wisconsin in through the upper peninsula of Michigan. Right now, the wind chill in Bismarck is 4 degrees below zero. It feels like 17 below out across Minneapolis, negative 4 in Green Bay, Chicago 9 degrees, but that's seeming a whole lot better compared to 17 below out across Minneapolis. Wind chills by tonight, negative 18 Minneapolis. It doesn't get any better by early tomorrow morning. Looks like by about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, we're still at 21 degrees below zero with the wind chill in Minneapolis, negative 14 Bismarck. Green Bay, boy, it's going to be a cold start there, 24 degrees below zero. South of that, it's no picnic, but it's just not quite as brutally cold. 24 to start the day in Kansas City, 17 Indianapolis and Louisville. That's a cold start for those folks at 23. Only takes about 30 minutes to start getting frostbite when it's 30 below zero. So those stats are from the National Weather Service. A good reminder of how dangerous this cold air is. Lows tonight in Grand Forks, 19 degrees below zero. That is without the wind chill. So you just saw the pictures coming out of Grand Forks. Yeah, it's cold up there. 13 below in Rylander, negative 2 Green Bay, La Crosse, Wisconsin at about zero. Duluth, these are your high temperatures for Wednesday, negative 2. That's it. We do make a climb back up to 15 degrees on Thursday, lower 20s there by Friday, and then the numbers take another tumble behind another front, 6 degrees being the high out on Sunday. Chicago, where the average is 36, nowhere near that tomorrow, 24. Back up to 42, though, going above average for Thursday and Friday, and then a little tumble down to the mid to upper 20s for Sunday and Monday to start the week. The cold front is right there. Out ahead of it, temperatures actually warmer than yesterday. Back behind it, look at this cold air, and it goes from Detroit, Chicago, all the way down through New Orleans, where temperatures are between 20 and 30 degrees colder today compared to yesterday. And David, that's the power of this particular cold front. Out along that front, David, we actually have a little bit of snowflake action out across the deep south, and more in the way tonight for the northeast.
Yeah, we do. And, I'm from the deep south. I'm from this area where it's kind of happening right now. I worked in Chattanooga, Tennessee for many, many years, in northern Alabama as well, and up around Nashville. And I'm getting lots of pictures and phone calls because I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't think it was going to happen this far south. Yesterday, this is always a tough call when you start looking at this sort of situation here, because most of the time there's not enough cold air in place as the moisture moves in. And I said yesterday, I can remember on one hand growing up here, I've been doing the weather for 37 years now. I can count on my hand how many times I've seen it cover the ground out of the north. You always typically have to have low pressure coming out of the Gulf of Mexico and running up the line. Well, we have a wave of energy that was not planned, didn't show up in any of the computer modeling, that has slowed the process down during the day today and allowed the moisture to make its way across the rest of the area and then back through and around. And that's why we have plenty of moisture sitting there with some snow falling in and across the region too. And as a result, we'll see more of that moving on through into West Virginia. We just had a wasp fly through. Anyway, Matt's got it handled there. West. I just looked really silly there. Buffalo back onto the east across New York State. We still have plenty of moisture showing up there too in Vermont, New Hampshire, and still headed onto the east. That's all snowfall there. It's rain along the coastline, up and down the line, through the mid-Atlantic, down to Richmond, and beyond into the Gulf of Mexico as well. Houston over to the east there too. Then as you go into Northern California, Seattle, we have some light rain still falling there also. It's snow into the Cascades Cascades, Matt, and if you're okay, I'm going to toss it over to you and allow you to take over.
I wasn't sure what was going on there, David. I almost called the paramedics, and I did get the wasp, so the wasp is no more. That's it. Everybody's okay. The crisis has been averted. All right, Washington, D.C., we're looking pretty good there. A little rain, but snow is on the way as cold air comes in back behind the moisture. Yeah, David, the wasp is right down there. Check it out. I'll remove the carcass from the studio in about 5 minutes' time when I'm done with this here. This is 10 o'clock tonight. Northern wave up high is going to meet the Gulf low here. A lot of moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. There's your Friday forecast here. Rain from New York all the way down through Orlando, from Cincinnati all the way down just around Lake Pontchartrain in through eastern Mississippi as well. There goes the low, and this actually turns out to be a little mini nor'easter. It's not going to be as strong as a nor'easter, but it kind of creeps up the eastern seaboard, and what it does is you get that counterclockwise flow, scoops up all the moisture out of the Atlantic Ocean, and then pinwheels it right back in out across the eastern half of the country. So by Saturday, look at the rain moving in way up high from Maine through Burlington, Vermont, New Hampshire, all the way down through New York and all the way in through the deep south. On the way back side of this, it'll be cold enough to spin in a little bit of light snow, mainly across eastern Minnesota, in through Wisconsin, and also western Michigan. So the headlines here, a new developing coastal low. We could see some very heavy rain. That could lead to some flooding, coastal, river, and snowmelt flooding there. And then the snowfall is mainly confined to the western Great Lakes, way up high here out across the Great Lakes. Charlotte, for you, a couple of nice days, and then here comes some scattered showers Friday in through Saturday. By Sunday, Monday, we are back in the sun. Coming up next, top weather headlines, and who knows, maybe a hornet or a bee. That's next.